A boy asked a girl, "I'll pay you $10 if you climb up the flagpole." The girl replied, "Okay," and climbs the flagpole. When the girl goes home, she said to her mother, "Mommy, a boy paid me $10 to climb the flagpole." Mom said, "He just wanted to see your underwear." Next day, same boy asked her, "I'll pay you $20 if you climb the flagpole again." Girl said, "Okay, thanks," and climbs the flagpole. This time when she went home, she said, "Mommy, today the boy paid me $20 for climbing the flagpole. But today I tricked him. This time I wasn't wearing underwear." Her mom is in shock. One day a husband sent a text to his wife last night. "Hi babe, I'm at the pub with some lads. Please try and wash all my dirty clothes and make sure you prepare my favorite dish before I return." Few seconds later, the husband sent another text. "Babe, I forgot to tell you that I got an increase in my salary at the end of the month. I'm getting you a new car." His wife texts back in 1 second. "OMG, really?" Husband replied, "No, I just wanted to make sure you got my first message."
An 87-year-old man was having his annual checkup when the doctor asked how he felt. "I feel great," the man said proudly. "I have an 18-year-old wife who's pregnant and having my child. What do you think about that?" The doctor thought for a moment and then said, "Let me tell you a story. There was a man who loved hunting. One day he went into the woods with his umbrella instead of his gun. Suddenly he saw a big bear. The man pointed his umbrella at the bear and squeezed the handle. And guess what happened?" asked the doctor. The old man was surprised. "What happened?" "The bear dropped dead," said the doctor. "That's impossible," said the old man. "Someone else must have shot the bear." The doctor replied, "That's kind of what I'm getting at."
An engineer comes to work one day with a new bike. His friend says, "Oh wow, nice bike, where did you get it?" The guy says, "I was walking home through the park. A beautiful woman on a bike rode up, jumped off the bike, stripped naked, and told me to take whatever I wanted. I took the bike." The friend says, "Good call. Her clothes probably wouldn't have fit anyway." A little boy walks into his parents' room to see his mom on top of his dad bouncing up and down. The mom sees her son and quickly dismounts, worried about what her son has seen. She dresses quickly and goes to find him. The son sees his mom and asks, "What were you and dad doing?" The mother replies, "Well, you know, your dad has a big tummy and sometimes I have to get on top of it to help flatten it." "You're wasting your time," said the boy. "Why is that?" asked his mom, puzzled. Son said, "Well, when you go for shopping, a lady next door comes over and gets on her knees and blows it right back up." 3 kids are arguing about whose dad is the fastest. At lunch, the first boy says, "My dad is the fastest because he is a bricklayer. And when he drops a brick from the 5th floor, he can run to the ground level and be there before the brick hits." "Not bad," says the second boy. "But my dad is faster. He is a professional archer. When he shoots an arrow at the bullseye, he can reach it before the arrow does." "That's pretty fast," says the third boy, "but not as fast as my dad. My dad works for the government as a public servant, and when he finishes work at 5 p.m., he can get home by 2:30 p.m. Guys, what you think? Whose dad is fastest? One day, a wife texted his husband, "Hey babe, how are you doing?" Husband, "Listen, I am really busy and I don't have time to talk at all." Wife, "Well babe, I have a good news and bad news for you. You want to hear them?" Husband, "Just tell me the good news. I don't have time for the bad." Wife, "Okay, good news is the airbags of our new BMW work absolutely fine." A man is talking to God. He asked God, "How long is 1,000,000 years to you?" God answers, "To me it's about a minute, my dear." "God, how much is $1,000,000 to you?" asked the man. God replied, "To me it's a penny, my dear." "God, may I have a penny?" said the man, trying to trick the God. Then God said, "Do I look stupid? Go and earn yourself." 3 kids are arguing about whose dad is the fastest. At lunch, the first boy says, "My dad is the fastest because he is a bricklayer. And when he drops a brick from the 5th floor, he can run to the ground level and be there before the brick hits." "Not bad," says the second boy. "But my dad is faster. He is a professional archer. When he shoots an arrow at the bullseye, He can reach it before the arrow does. That's pretty fast, says the third boy, but not as fast as my dad. My dad works for the government as a public servant, and when he finishes work at 5 p.m., he can get home by 2:30 p.m. Guys, what you think? Whose dad is fastest?
A father put his 3-year-old daughter to bed, told her a story and listened to her prayers, which ended by saying, "God bless Mommy, God bless Daddy, God bless Grandma, and goodbye, Grandpa." The father asked, "Why did you say goodbye, Grandpa?" The little girl said, "I don't know, Daddy. It just seemed like the right thing to do." The next day, Grandpa died. A few months later, the father put the girl to bed and listened to her prayers, which went like, "God bless Mommy, God bless Daddy, and goodbye, Grandma." The next day, the grandmother died. Several weeks later, when the girl was going to bed, the dad heard her say, "God bless Mommy and goodbye, Daddy." He couldn't sleep all night. When he went to work, he was constantly looking at his watch. He figured if he could get by until midnight, he would be okay. Finally, midnight arrived. He breathed a sigh of relief and went home. When he got home, his wife said, "You'll never believe what happened to me this morning. My boss died in the middle of a meeting."
One day, an old man goes to the doctor. He complains that his wife can't hear. The doctor says, "You need to test your wife. Stand far behind her and ask her a question. Then start going closer to her. You will see how close you'll get when she hears you." The old man is happy that he can help his wife. He runs home. He sees that his wife is making dinner. The old man stands 20 feet away and asks, "Honey, what are we having for dinner?" The wife doesn't reply. The man tries again. He stands 15 feet away, but there is no answer. He stands 10 feet away and asks again. No answer. Finally, he is 5 feet away. "Honey, what are we having for dinner?" "I've told you 4 times, chicken."
Two fellow drug addicts were arrested. The judge says, "If each of you can convince at least 5 people to quit drugs in a week, we'll let you go." A week later, the first junkie guy reports, "I convinced 7 people." The judge asks, "But how did you do it?" "I used the circle method. I drew a big circle and a small one. The first circle is your brain before drug use, and the second circle is your brain after." The second addict comes in and says, "I convinced 565 people." The judge asks, in shock, "Wait a minute, but how did you do that?" The guy replies, "I used the circle method too, only I said the small circle is your ass before prison and the big circle is your ass after." 4 men are in the hospital waiting room because their wives are having babies. A nurse goes up to the first guy and says, "Congratulations, you're the father of twins." "That's odd," answers the man. "I work for the Minnesota Twins." A nurse says to the second guy, "Congratulations, you're the father of triplets." "That's weird," answers the second man. "I work for the 3M company." A nurse tells the third man, "Congratulations, you're the father of quadruplets." "That's strange," he answers. "I work for the Four Seasons Hotel." The last man is groaning and banging his head against the wall. "What's wrong?" the others ask. "I work for 7-Up." A new teacher joined in. The school teacher asked, "Okay, students, tell your names and hobbies." First boy, "My name is Henry. My hobby is watching Moon." Second boy, "My name is Jack, and my hobby is watching Moon." Third boy, "My name is Michael, and hobby is watching Moon." The teacher was amazed at how all boys have the same hobbies. Teacher said, "Wow, good. Everyone's hobbies are same. Okay, now girls' turn." First girl stand up and said, "Hello, ma'am. My name is Moon." Teacher shocked and boys rocked. Connor and Habib are beggars. They beg in different areas of New York. Habib begs just as long as Connor does, but only collects $2 to $3 every day. Connor brings home a suitcase full of $10 notes, drives a Mercedes, lives in a mortgage-free house, and has a lot of money to spend. Habib asks Connor, "I work just as long and hard as you do, but how is it that you bring home a suitcase full of $10 notes every day? Look at your sign. What does it say?" Habib's sign reads, "I have no job, a wife, and 6 kids to support. No wonder you only get $2 to $3. So what does your sign say?" Connor shows Habib his sign. It reads, "I only need another $10 to move back to my country."
A new guy starts working at the local zoo. Shortly after, the zoo's gorilla dies of old age. The problem was, this was the only gorilla the zoo had, since it didn't make very much money. The gorilla was by far the most popular attraction, and the zoo couldn't afford to go a day without it. The owner called the new guy into his office and asked for an extra $300 a day. Could you put on this gorilla suit and pretend to be a gorilla in the enclosure? Just until we can afford a new one. Surprised, he had to think about it for a minute and hesitantly agreed. The next day, the gorilla enclosure instantly became the most popular attraction at the zoo. Everyone wanted to see the human-like gorilla. This lasted for a few weeks, when eventually the hype started to die down. The zoo owner told him, "Listen man, we need you to keep people interested. Get the attention back and we'll pay you an extra $100. The next day in his gorilla suit, he gets the idea to climb up over his enclosure and hang over the lion's den by the net ceiling. A huge crowd of people start watching in a panic. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Suddenly, the net he was hanging onto started ripping, and he falls into the lion's den. He starts screaming, "Help! Help!" when suddenly the lion pounced on top of him. The lion then whispered, "Shut the fuck up! You're gonna get us both fired!"
One day, Albert Einstein sits next to a man on a long flight. Einstein says, "Let's play a game. I will ask you a question, and if you don't know the answer, you will pay me only $5. But if I don't know the answer, I will pay you $500. The man agrees, and the game proceeds. Einstein asks the first question, "What is the distance between the Earth and the Moon?" The man doesn't say a word. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out $5. He then asks Einstein, "What goes up a hill with 3 legs but comes down on 4? Einstein thinks about it for a long time, but fails to answer the question. After almost an hour, he gives the man $500. An irritated Einstein then asks, "Well, so what goes up a hill on 3 legs and comes down on 4? The man reaches into his pocket and gives Einstein $5. Moral of the story: don't assume you're the smartest person in the world.